Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Wednesday, October 9, 2019. Our 1951 Penn Yan President is flipped back over, and well, I'll just hand it off to Joe to bring you up to date as to where we are.
Yeah, this morning on the aft deck, I reinstalled. There's two of the last side pieces of the deck that were, when we fixed the back deck, they were off, so I put them back in and I got them 5,200 it down. And then I spent 2 hours sanding the decks and the covering boards, and now we're in the process of putting the last coat of bleach on, where then we can get it all scuffed and get it all stained.
How long have you been keeping it wet? You started applying it this morning?
No, it was about noon.
Yeah.
I have been doing it, and I've been doing it about every 15 to 20 minutes.
So we're keeping it wet?
Keeping it wet now for about 2.5 hours.
Right. And if we get it wet enough, it will stay wet overnight, and by tomorrow morning will be really blonde. So Joe is bleaching the topsides and transom. Joe have 10 coats of?
On the transom and on the sides we have had 15 coats.
And that's pettit high build?
Correct.
All the way through. We will be using high build on the decks and covering boards. And these seams in the deck of this boat are really small, and I can't remember. I don't think there was anything in there to begin with. Just varnish.
There was. I stripped it all out. It was either some kind of putty or maybe like what we would consider Sikkens. But the seams were filled on this. We just cleaned them all out as we were getting it stripped and sanded.
So we will apply, what, 10 or so coats of
yeah, we'll probably do between 10 and 15 coats, depending on how flat it gets. But we'll do 10 to 15 coats of the pettit high build, and then I believe we're going to be putting in the white Sikkens. And then after the Sikkens is in, we can put in the captain's clear varnish, which will remain at white.
We've had, let's say, interesting discussions with folks who argue that the Sikkens should go in last and then be painted. In truth, our practice is exactly what Joe just outlined. We build the varnish with an amber varnish, as pettit high build is, put the Sikkens in place. If we continued with the high build, that amber color would be applied to the pure white Sikkens as well, and very quickly turn it into a yucky, muddy kind of, well,
funky yellow.
Yeah, sort of a yellow color. So we build to the point where we've got everything nice and flat. The shine's beginning to develop, and then we switch to the captain's clear, also a pettit varnish, same chemistry. And the final coats, I would guess, since we want this boat to show quality, once we are finished with her, we will build to at least 20 coats, and before we're finished making her beautiful. As you can see, if we gaze down in, while she was upside down, we finished applying Sikkens Cetol Marine to the hull sides, Sandusky gray bilge paint into the bilge. This boat has ceilings. They're all varnished and ready to be installed, but we won't do that until we're pretty far down the road on varnishing the covering boards and the two decks. The aft deck is sort of a minimalist excuse for a deck, but it is a deck. All of the interior components are well on their way to being completely varnished. The top sides are looking really good, really flat. You can't really see them now because of the paper that we have on it, so we're not dripping varnish down our beautiful surfaces. The bottom of this boat, after speaking with Charlie Santee and TJ Amato, and then doing a lot of research, the bottom and then the interior floorboards are finished in Penn Yan Chinese red, which we sourced from TJ Amato, Penn Yan Parts and Accessories. It's really excellent paint. I can't recommend it highly enough. Joe and I were tossing ideas around today. We will stain the decks the same rich color that we have used, and we're not really going to be able to get to it. I don't think we can get down to where you can really see it. But the decks will be identical to this transom. The covering boards from the catalogs we've seen, and the people with whom we've had conversations, the covering boards will stay blonde. We will apply a natural stain to them so that we have a stain base before we seal all these surfaces with 3 coats of Smith's clear penetrating epoxy sealer. And then we will scuff it with Scotch-Brite pads and start applying varnish. We use jel'd stain on?
Yes.
Yes. So we will be using jel'd stain that I sourced from Mike Mayer, Lake Oswego Boats in the West Coast, and it's just wonderful stain to use. We have bead blasted the bronze stern drive. I know that technically it's not a stern drive, it's an aft drive, but it's the big bronze structure that hangs off the transom. This is the only piece of decking, the same piece on both sides, that we had to replace on this boat. The rest of it is all the wood she came out of the factory with. We have not had to replace anything. So I can't wait till we start varnishing, and then, of course, Michael always drives everybody crazy. Can we assemble yet? Is it time to assemble yet? I want to see this boat finished. But that's going to be a while. For the time being, that's our update on the 1951 18-foot Penn Yan President. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.